Welcome students. Today we will continue the same chapter, that is chapter 4 climate, and in this session we will understand the different factors that affects the India's climate. In the previous class we studied all the factors that affects the climate of a particular region in general. So let's begin. In today's class, we will understand only three factors that affects India's climate, and these are latitudes, altitudes, pressure and winds. And the remaining factors that affects India's climate will be discussed in the next class only. बच्चों, ये जो चैप्टर है क्लाइमेट चैप्टर, ये 9th क्लास की ज्योग्राफी के सभी चैप्टर्स में से सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट और सबसे ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग चैप्टर है। और इस चैप्टर को हम बड़े आराम से पढ़ेंगे और बहुत अच्छे से डिटेल में भी पढ़ेंगे जैसे हमने और चैप्टर्स पढ़े हैं। लेकिन एक शर्त है कि आप जो भी मैं क्लास आपको सेंड करती हूँ थ्रू दिस वीडियो सेशन, तो आपने उसको बहुत अच्छे से स्टडी करना है, प्रॉपर तरीके से नोट्स बना लेने हैं। और अगर आपको कोई दिक्कत किसी भी चीज़ में एक पॉइंट की भी दिक्कत आती है, जस्ट आस्क मी ऑन द सेम डे, ताकि वो प्रॉब्लम लिंगर ऑन ना हो और आपको आगे दिक्कत ना दे, क्योंकि सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स जो हैं इस चैप्टर के एक दूसरे से रिलेटेड हैं। लास्ट में हमने जो मॉनसून कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ना है वो इन सब फैक्टर्स को, जिन बच्चों को समझ में आ जाएगा ना, हर स्टेप समझ में आएगा, उन्हीं को लास्ट भी समझ में आएगा इस चैप्टर का। सो बेटर है कि आप हर दिन का जितना पढ़ाया हुआ है हर क्लास का, वो आप नोट डाउन करें, समझें, और जहां आपको नहीं समझ में आ रहा वो आप मुझे इधर कमेंट सेक्शन में लिख दें, पूछ लें, या आप मुझे कॉल कर लें तो ज़्यादा बेहतर रहेगा। तो इंटरेक्शन बनी रहे तो ज़्यादा बेटर है, ठीक है। बट इफ़ यू फील कि हाँ ये इसमें कुछ कमी है और इसका बेटर आइडिया ये हो सकता था, दैट ऑल्सो यू कैन मैंशन। Let's move with the first factor that affects the India's climate, and that is latitude. In the first chapter we have studied that the latitudinal extent of India is from 8 degree 4 minutes north to 37 degree 6 minutes north. I have shown the image so that you can recall it well. Now, as we know that the Tropic of Cancer divides India into almost equal parts, that is the tropical part, the lower one, and the subtropical part, that is the upper one. Now, this Tropic of Cancer plays a very important role in India's climate. Now, it is very much clear to us कि जो 0 डिग्री इक्वेटर है उसके ऊपर जो 23.5 डिग्री नॉर्थ है और नीचे जो 23.5 डिग्री साउथ तक सन रेज़ डायरेक्ट पड़ती हैं, मैक्सिमम सन रेज़ यहाँ होता है, तो जिसकी वजह से ये वाला एरिया बहुत ज़्यादा गर्म रहता है, क्योंकि यहाँ सन रेज़ बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग हैं। इसीलिए इस पार्ट को हम जब देखते हैं कि यहाँ किस टाइप का ये क्लाइमेट ऑब्ज़र्व करता है, तो वो यहाँ पर ट्रॉपिकल क्लाइमेट जो है हमारे इंडिया में हम ऑब्ज़र्व करते हैं। और 23.5 डिग्री नॉर्थ के बाद टेम्परेट जोन है, ये भी हमने पढ़ा था, टिल 66.5 डिग्री नॉर्थ। अब अगर लैटिट्यूडनल वैल्यू देखें तो हमारे इंडिया की एक लैटिट्यूडनल वैल्यू थी 8 डिग्री 4 मिनट्स नॉर्थ, तो ये तो आ गया इक्वेटर के थोड़ा सा ही ऊपर देखेंगे तो वहीं आता है 8 डिग्री 4 मिनट्स नॉर्थ, और दूसरी वैल्यू है 37 डिग्री 6 मिनट्स नॉर्थ। तो वो इसलिए जो हमारा ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर है उसके ऊपर के हमारा जो कंट्री का लैटिट्यूड है वहाँ आ जाता है, तो वहाँ पर क्या है, सब ट्रॉपिकल क्लाइमेट हमारा इंडिया फेस करता है। और यहाँ पर 32.5 डिग्री से 37 डिग्री 6 मिनट्स तक सन रेज ज़्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं रहती, इसलिए इस पार्ट में हम सब ट्रॉपिकल क्लाइमेट ऑब्ज़र्व करते हैं। तो इस तरीके से हमारे जो इंडिया में ट्रॉपिकल लैटिट्यूड्स भी हैं और सब ट्रॉपिकल लैटिट्यूड्स भी हैं, इस वजह से हम लोग ट्रॉपिकल क्लाइमेट भी है हमारे पास और सब ट्रॉपिकल क्लाइमेट भी है, और ये सब हमारी लैटिट्यूडनल पोजीशन की वजह से है। नाउ द नेक्स्ट फैक्टर दैट इफेक्ट्स India's climate is the altitude. In the last class we have studied that as the height increases the temperature decreases. जैसे जैसे ऑल्टीट्यूड बढ़ता चला जाता है, हाइट बढ़ती जाती है, ऊंचाइयों पे हम चले जाते हैं, ऊंचाइयों पे चले जाते हैं, तो वैसे ही टेम्परेचर डिक्रीज होता चला जाता है. अब हमने लास्ट क्लास में एक बहुत अच्छा एग्जाम्पल पढ़ा था हिमालयाज़ का. तो हिमालयाज़ क्या है, उनकी जो एवरेज हाइट है दैट इज़ 6,000 मीटर. और हिमालयज़ हमारे लिए क्या करते हैं, एक बैरियर की तरह है, हमारी देश की रक्षा करते हैं. कैसे, अगर हिमालयज़ ना होते तो मानसून विंड्स जो हैं वो हमारे इंडिया को क्रॉस कर जाती और चाइना उसका मज़ा ले रहा होता, तिब्बत उसका मज़ा ले रहा होता, वहाँ मानसून हो रहा होता. और अगर हिमालयज़ नहीं होते तो जो हमारा सेंट्रल एशिया, वहाँ से कोल्ड वेव्स हमारी तरफ इंडिया में आ चुकी होती, तो हमारा इंडिया कैसा हो जाता, एक तरीके से बिल्कुल कोल्ड डेजर्ट बन चुका होता. सो ये हिमालयज़ ही हैं जो कि मानसून विंड को इंडिया में ही रोक लेते हैं और बारिश सारी इंडिया में हो जाती है, जिसकी वजह से हम लोग मानसून का फ़ायदा उठाते हैं और मानसून को एंजॉय करते हैं. और कोल्ड वेव्स जो हैं वो सेंट्रल एशिया से जो आती हैं उनको ये रोक लेता है, जिसकी वजह से हम लोग जो है, हमारे यहाँ ठंड तो होती है बट इट इज़ माइल्डर विंटर एज़ कम्पेयर टू दैट रीजन. सो द नेक्स्ट वन इज़ द वेस्टर्न घाट्स. एक एग्जाम्पल अब हम लेते हैं इसमें. मैंने एक एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पे डाला है जो हमने लास्ट क्लास में नहीं पढ़ा था, दैट इज़ द वेस्टर्न घाट्स. वेस्टर्न घाट्स आर हायर, हेंस इन द विंडवर्ड साइड इट रिसीव्स हैवी रेनफॉल. अब हमने लास्ट क्लास में ये तो देखा था लीवर्ड साइड और विंडवर्ड साइड में क्या डिफरेंस है. जैसे विंडवर्ड साइड में जो है मॉइस्चर से भरी हुई हवाएं जब टकराती हैं किसी भी माउंटेन के विंडवर्ड साइड में, तो वहीं पे सारा मॉइस्चर ख़त्म हो जाता है, क्योंकि वहाँ क्या होता है, जितना भी पानी भर के लेके आता है मॉइस्चर, वो वहाँ रेन हो जाती है. और लीवर्ड साइड में क्या होता है, जब हवाएँ खाली हो जाती हैं उनका सारा पानी रेनफॉल के उसमें कन्वर्ट हो जाता है और रेन हो जाती है, तो उसके बाद में वो जब खाली हवाएं उड़ती हैं तो वो लीवर्ड साइड में जाके कोई बारिश नहीं कर पाती, तो लीवर्ड साइड कैसी रह जाती है, ड्राई. अब एक एग्जाम्पल है अरावलीज़ का लेते हैं. अब देखिए आप इस स्लाइड में, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में देखेंगे आप. नाउ लुक एट दिस स्लाइड वेरी केयरफुली. इसमें 2 इमेजेस हैं. फर्स्ट इमेज तो आपकी वेस्टर्न घाट्स की है, जो कि आपको कॉन्सेप्ट काफ़ी अच्छे से क्लियर है कि विंडवर्ड साइड और लीवर्ड साइडर्स में काफ़ी अच्छी बारिश कर देते हैं, वेयर एज लीवर्ड साइड में पहुँचते पहुँचते ये ड्राई हो जाती हैं, तो वहाँ कंडीशंस इतनी अच्छी नहीं रहती, वहाँ जो है वाटर की शॉर्टेज बनी रहती है. ना इफ़ आई आस्क यू व्हाई डज मुंबई रिसीव्स मोर रेनफॉल देन पुणे, तो इसका आंसर क्या हो सकता है. इसका आंसर सिंपल सा है, दैट मुंबई लाइज एट द विंडवर्ड साइड वाइल द पुणे इज ऑन द लीवर्ड साइड. Now look at the second image of this slide. In the second image I have shown the Aravalli range. Look at the position of the Aravalli range. अब ये जो साउथ वेस्ट मानसून मैंने ऑरेंज कलर के एरो मार्क करके शो किया है, इसमें क्या है कि जो साउथ वेस्ट मानसून विंड्स हैं ये बिल्कुल पैरेलल में रन करती हुई अरावली रेंज के और जाकर आगे हिमालय से टकराती हैं. अगर यही अरावली रेंज की डायरेक्शन कुछ हिमालयाज़ की डायरेक्शन की तरह होती तो ये साउथ वेस्ट मानसून विंड्स जो हैं इनसे टकराती और ये इस रीजन में बारिश करती. तो राजस्थान कैसा रहता, राजस्थान जो है रेगिस्तान नहीं कहलाता, वो डेजर्ट इलाका बिल्कुल भी नहीं कहलाता. सो अगेन द हाइट मैटर्स हियर, क्योंकि अगर ये दूसरी बात है, अगर ये विंड्स यहीं बारिश कर देती तो आगे पंजाब, हरियाणा, उत्तर प्रदेश में ये खाली जाती विंड्स, तो वहाँ पर पानी की शॉर्टेज हो जाती. तो ये भी एक जो है हमारा रिलीफ फीचर का एक सिग्निफिकेंसी आप मान लीजिए, इधर पॉजिटिव और द नेगेटिव, बट इन बोथ द वेज इट इज़ ट्रू. जैसे हाइट है तो वो ये चीज़ कंसिडर करना है हमें कि अगर हाइट काफ़ी हद तक बेनिफिशियल है तो काफ़ी हद तक कहीं कहीं उसके थोड़े से ड्रॉबैक्स भी हैं. So here Aravallis are parallel to southwest monsoon winds, hence they do not act as a barrier, thus Rajasthan remains dry. Now the third factor that affects the India's climate is pressure and the surface wind. Actually, India's climate and the associated weather conditions in India are governed by 3 atmospheric conditions. These 3 atmospheric conditions are, the first one is the pressure and surface winds, second is upper air circulation, which is basically related with the jet streams, and the third is western cyclonic disturbances and the tropical cyclones. We will study these three atmospheric conditions one by one. So let's first move with the first atmospheric condition, that is pressure and surface winds. So the first thing to be noted down here is India lies in the region of northeasterly winds. Now what does this word means, easterly winds? So let's understand this through air pressure that affects the earth atmosphere. So first of all we must know that what is air pressure. Actually the air pressure is the pressure exerted by the air on the surface of the earth. So let's understand the varying pressure on the surface of the earth through this video clip. So let's first look at the equator. Now this is your equator, 0 degree, and this is the equator. Now the equator zone is about 5 degree north and 5 degree south. So this is a belt. Now why do we call it belt? Because it looks like a belt, and this receives the direct sunlight from the sun. So we find more temperature here at the equator, and the air molecules which are present on this belt, like you can say these are the air molecules. The air molecules which are present over this belt receives more sunlight, as a result of which temperature is more here, and the air molecules with the more temperature, they are having more energy, and they have the energy to overcome the gravitational pull of the earth. Now due to this energy, the air rises up and only very less molecules remains at the equator belt, like this. Air molecule rises up to troposphere. These molecules rises up to a certain limit, and that limit is the tropopause, or you can say troposphere. And this pressure, at this time, the pressure at this belt is low pressure. Now let us look at the relationship between temperature and pressure. So when the temperature rises, pressure decreases. And when the pressure increases, temperature decreases. Now at the equatorial belt, the pressure is low and the air start rising up. And at the polar region, this one is our North Pole and this one is our South Pole. So these are the poles. Here the temperature is very low. So the pressure is very high, because as I told you that when the temperature is low, pressure is very high. So at the polar zone, temperature is very low and the pressure is very high. And in the previous class, I told you that wind moves from high pressure to low pressure. So the wind started moving like this. Same in the northern region and same with the southern part. So as a result, we can say that the North Pole and the South Pole region is a high pressure belt. So these are the high pressure belts. This means that this region has the higher pressure than the remaining surrounding areas. Like this polar region has the higher pressure than this surrounding area, and this south polar region has the more pressure than this surrounding area. Now we know that the air always moves from high pressure to the low pressure. So the winds will move from this region to this region. So now coming back to the equator zone, equator belt. Now here the winds are rising up because of the low pressure and high temperature, and these winds reaches to a certain limit, to a certain height, and that is the tropopause. Up to tropopause they will reach. So suppose here is the tropopause or troposphere. Then they started dissipating, like how the wind started cool down and they started moving towards this direction. Now the winds dissipates its energy in the form of heat and becomes cool and dense. Now these winds become sluggish. Few moves towards the north and some of the winds moves towards the south. Now here it begins to fall down from the northern and the southern part to the northern and the southern part because of the gravitational pull. Now look, like this. Now here we see that the air molecules are already present over here. So already air molecules are present here, previous air molecules, and more air is adding on to this region. So more air molecules are added here, as a result of which here the pressure becomes high. So this belt is having the high pressure, so it is called high pressure belt. In the same way, in the southern part, already here air molecules are present, more air is added here as the air sinks down here. So again the pressure becomes high and it becomes the higher pressure belt. Now some of the air moves towards north at the time of sinking, and some of the air moves towards the south, like this. Now after this, both these belts are of high pressure, so these are called high pressure belts. Now some of the wind moves towards the north and some of the winds towards south. Then again these two belts are of low pressure. So again from here the wind started rising up, and at certain limit, that is of troposphere, again the wind started sinking down. Wind becomes sluggish, lack of energy, so winds become weak and started becoming cool down, and likewise the wind started moving. And from here also, from the low pressure belt, wind rises up, air molecules started rising up. So at the certain level, that is of troposphere, again the wind, some of the wind moves towards the north and some of the wind moves towards the south, in this way. So in the same way here also, these are the complete cycles. Look here, look carefully, these are the cycles. Now on above the equatorial region in the northern hemisphere, how many cycles are here? Let's count. 1, 2 and 3. And below equatorial line, how many cycles are here? 1, 2 and 3. Now equator is at 0 degree, so this is 30 degree and this is 60 degree, and at 90 degree it is the southern pole, south pole, and here it is 30 degree and this one is 60 degree, and at 90 degree again here is the north pole. Now these cells, what these cells are called? These cells actually ensures that the heat is equally distributed across the Earth's atmosphere. इन सेल्स का मेनली पर्पस ही ये है कि जो विंड है it rises up, then at tropopause it started sinking down and it moves from high pressure to the low pressure, and likewise throughout the earth these winds moves, and these cycles ensures the equal distribution of heat across the earth's atmosphere. Now here we find three main cells. Now the first cell is known as the Hadley cell. Above the equator, this is the equator, 0 degree. So above equator, this is the first cell. This is called Hadley cell. Its range is from 0 degree to 30 degree, and from 30 degree to 60 degree, the second cell is called Ferrel cell, and from 60 degree to 90 degree, the third cell is called polar cell. In the same way, in the southern hemisphere, the first cell is called Hadley cell. Again, its range is from 0 degree to 30 degree. Then second cell is called Ferrel cell. Its range is from 30 degree to 60 degree. And the third is the polar cell. Its range is from 60 degree to 90 degree. So now at equator, or at this region at 0 degree, this region is called equatorial zone. It is also called doldrums, because in this region the pressure is low and the winds are weak and they are very slow, sluggish, and this zone is also called ITCZ, that is Intertropical Convergence Zone. And this region is called Subtropical High Pressure Zone or Subtropical High Pressure Belt. In the same way, this region is also called Subtropical High Pressure Belt. It is also called horse latitude. Because like legends has it that European traders and their ships used to decamp here due to slow winds, and for the conversion and for the conservation of the water, they used to throw the horse overboard from the ship near these latitudes only. So these are called horse latitudes. Now at 60 degree, like which is outside this polar region, which is present outside the polar zone, it is called subpolar low. And also this region is of low pressure, or you can say that this region is a low pressure belt. Now guess what will be the name of this zone? So this will be the polar zone, or you can say polar high. In the same way, in the southern hemisphere, as this region lies outside the 60 degree, so it is outside this zone, so it is called subpolar low. Again here the pressure is low and this belt is called low pressure belt. Now let's discuss about the winds. Now the planetary winds are planetary winds, or you can say prevailing winds. Now these are the winds that blows in the same direction throughout the year. If the planetary wind started blowing from this direction to this, then throughout the year these winds will blow like this only. So planetary winds are those that blows in the same direction throughout the year, or you can say these winds are also called prevailing winds. Now these winds blows from high pressure to, again, high pressure to low pressure zone only, high pressure area to low pressure only. So, but like if we feel that let's draw the exact direction of these planetary winds here on over the earth, like high pressure to low pressure. That means these winds should move like this. Then this, again, this is the high pressure and this is the low pressure zone. That means these winds should move like this. Then again, this is the high pressure, this is the low pressure. That means these winds should move like this. And here, this is the high pressure, this is the low pressure. Wind should move like this. But this is not the actual case. These winds never flows in the straight direction. They automatically turns. But that turn is because of the Coriolis force. Now, Coriolis force. Now, what is this Coriolis force? This Coriolis force is the force, or it is the effect on the winds due to the rotation of earth. So it affects winds. This is the force that affects on the wind due to the rotation of the earth on its own axis. As the earth rotates, because of it, the wind changes its direction. Now suppose this is the earth and we are standing here. Then let's take one example before that. जब आप किसी बाइक पे कहीं जा रहे होते हो और आपकी बाइक आगे की तरफ जा रही होती है, तो आपका पेन अगर गिर जाए तो वो क्या आपके साथ साथ बाइक के साथ ही आगे की तरफ मूवमेंट देता है? नहीं, आपका पेन पीछे की तरफ को गिरता है और आपकी बाइक आगे निकल जाती है. द सेम थिंग हैपेंस हियर. लाइक इफ द अर्थ एक्चुअली मूव्स फ्रॉम वेस्ट टू ईस्ट in this way. So all the winds which are in the northern hemisphere, they get deflected towards the right, and the winds that are present in the southern hemisphere, they get deflected towards the left. So let's see the exact direction after the deflection of the winds due to the Coriolis force. Now wind moves from high pressure to the low pressure, then the winds will be like this is the northern hemisphere and this is the southern hemisphere. So I told you that in the northern hemisphere the winds gets deflected towards the right due to the Coriolis force. So this is the right. Suppose I am standing here, this is my right hand, so the winds will get deflect like this. This is the actual deflection of the winds.
So the winds are named as per the direction from their origination. Now look at this direction. अब ये डायरेक्शन जो है आपके जो कार्डिनल और सब कार्डिनल डायरेक्शंस पढ़े हैं आपने. So this direction is the north east. So these are the north easterly winds. In the same way, like if we move to the southern part, now this is the high pressure zone, this is the low pressure zone, and in the southern hemisphere the air gets deflected towards the left. Now the actual wind direction will be like this, because here the winds get deflected towards the left. Now in this high pressure zone to low pressure zone, the winds will get deflect in this way. Now the direction of these winds are like south and east. So these are southeast winds, southeasterly winds. Now this is the southwest. So these are the westerly winds. You can say southwest winds. And again this is the and here as per the direction again it is the northwest winds, and this is the northeast. Now India lies in this region here, in this region. That means India lies in the northeasterly, in the region of northeasterly winds. अब इंडिया कहाँ पर है? यहाँ पर आता है. तो ये आपका 0 डिग्री है, बिल्कुल सेंटर में. मैंने आपको ये बताया कि इक्वेटर जो है वो 0 डिग्री पे है, एंड अबव इक्वेटर लाइक टिल 5 डिग्री नॉर्थ एंड 5 डिग्री बिलो इक्वेटर 5 डिग्री साउथ, दिस एरिया इज कॉल्ड डोलड्रम और इक्वेटोरियल लो प्रेशर जोन. सो जो हमारा लैटिट्यूडनल और लॉन्गिट्यूडनल हमने वैल्यूज पढ़े थे, तो उसमें जो लैटिट्यूडनल वैल्यू है वो यहाँ कहाँ है? 8 डिग्री 4 मिनट्स. तो यहाँ से शुरू होता है. और जो हमारा नॉर्दर्न लैटिट्यूडनल वैल्यू है, टॉप मोस्ट वैल्यू, उसमें क्या आता है हमारा 37 डिग्री समथिंग. तो ये है आपका 30 डिग्री लैटिट्यूड. ये यहाँ कहीं आपका 37 डिग्री सब ट्रॉपिकल जोन से जस्ट यहाँ पर आता है. तो दैट इज वाई वी आर हैविंग बोथ द काइंड ऑफ टेम्परेचर्स, ट्रॉपिकल एज वेल एज द सब ट्रॉपिकल. तो this is the exact location of the India. So as per the directions of the wind, we have named the winds. Now Coriolis effects increases as we go from equator to pole. अब Coriolis effect का जो फंडा है, जो आपको समझना है, that is the effect increases as we go from equator to pole. Now Coriolis force increases as we move from equator to pole. अब क्या है? This is the equator zone. So as we move towards the pole, it increases. So that means the Coriolis force within this zone is comparatively less than this zone. In the same way, Coriolis force here in the southern hemisphere is less than this zone. So we have one most important point to note here is north westerly winds are comparatively weaker than south westerly winds. What is the reason behind this is we find total ocean over here, plain region. This is completely full of ocean, whereas in this zone, in the northwesterly zone, we have uneven relief land features here. So because of this, the winds are weaker here and the winds are stronger in this zone. That means in the southern zone. Now, between this 30 degree to 60 degree, 40 degree and 50 degree, navigator called these 40 degree south and 50 degree south 60 degrees south, 30 degrees south. These are the latitudinal values. Now navigators call them as 40 degrees south as the roaring winds. Now let's write over here 40 degrees south as roaring 40s. 50 degrees south, these winds are called the winds which blows up to 40 degrees south. That means within this region are named as roaring 40s. The winds which moves within this region up to 50 degrees south, they are named as furious 50s. And the winds which blow up from 50 degrees south to 60 degrees south, that means at 60 degrees south, these winds are called shaking 60s. So this is the major difference between the southwesterlies and the northwesterlies.
अब आपको ये बात बिल्कुल क्लियर हो चुकी है कि इंडिया की एग्जैक्ट पोजीशन कहाँ है, और जो हमने एक स्टेटमेंट बिल्कुल बिगनिंग में बोली थी कि दैट इंडिया लाइज इन द रीजन ऑफ नॉर्थ ईस्टर्ली विंड्स, तो ये भी बात आपको बिल्कुल क्लियर हो चुकी है। ये मैंने स्लाइड में शो भी कर दिया है कि इंडिया इक्वेटर के ऊपर कहाँ लाया करता है, और नॉर्थ ईस्टर्ली विंड्स जो अभी हमने पढ़ा है वहाँ से उससे आप रिलेट करोगे तो कैसे ये नॉर्थ ईस्टर्ली विंड्स में ही उसी रीजन में हमारा इंडिया लाया करता है। ठीक है, तो अब ये बात बिल्कुल क्लियर हो चुकी है। अब कोरियोलिस फोर्स जो आपने पढ़ा है उसकी एक फॉर्मल सी डेफिनेशन मैं आपको बता देती हूँ, दैट इट इज़ द फोर्स और द इफेक्ट ऑन द विंड्स ड्यू टू द रोटेशन ऑफ द अर्थ ऑन इट्स एक्सिस। Now the next most important point related to this Coriolis force in this factor is that due to this Coriolis force only, the winds gets deflected towards the right in the northern hemisphere and towards the left in the southern hemisphere. Now the few points which you must remember, that is, as the temperature increases, pressure decreases, and as the pressure increases, temperature decreases. And when we move from equator to poles, Coriolis force always increases. So students, this is all about today's class. In this class, we have studied only 3 factors which affects India's climate. Please, you are requested to go through today's class very carefully with a good concentration. Prepare your notes well. If you have any kind of doubt, please consult at the same time. Otherwise, it will create problem for you at the end of the chapter.